I was talking with a client recently who was sharing with me that one of the things that their organization is going through is a pretty massive shift culturally in terms of how they operate. They want to take their sales team and go from more of a transactional account management type of approach into a consultative business partner type of approach. And just had to kind of chuckle when I heard this because if I had $1 for every time I have heard of organizations making the switch, and it's brilliant, like, you know, I've been on teams, on HR teams, on sales teams, and working with marketing teams and finance teams where this internal shift was being made. And so anyway, as you know, he was describing to me some of the challenges that they're having with that, and especially the challenge of getting buy-in from a lot of different team members and just organizationally for how to make this happen. And I just kind of wanted to offer some of my thoughts on that, because I think oftentimes what I see organizations do is they start with this type of change by saying, okay, what we need to be able to do is change the behavior of our team members. And so we need them to go from doing this to doing this. And the way to make behavior change, they think, is to start introducing a lot of new skills and training and, you know, getting people to practice, having more consultative types of conversations and just teaching them how to do it. And don't get me wrong, I think that teaching skills and giving people the how of how to do these things is necessary. It's a very important part of change management. But what I see, it's not the whole story. It's just not the whole story. And what I see so many organizations miss is the most foundational, important part of being able to help team members make this change, or any change for that matter, is to recognize that there is an identity shift that's happening. And here's what I mean when I say that. So an identity shift in this example is you are asking someone to change their behaviors of being the expert. So they would be able to go into accounts and say, here are the products that you need. I'm the expert, let me tell you what to do. They've been rewarded for that for years. They've been rewarded and celebrated and acknowledged for being the expert. That's the identity that they're wearing. When you're asking someone to now become more of a business partner, that is now taking the role, the identity of expert away, or setting it aside. When somebody's identity is threatened, and it's the way that they have either been rewarded or that has got them success or felt valuable in some way, shape, or form, it's going to be a bit harder to make that change until you help them orient into the new identity of who they're becoming. So when I think about change management, or I think about working with organizations on these types of things, or if I'm coaching, I help people orient into the identity of what they want. Because when they know who they're becoming and they are attached now to that vision of who they're becoming, the behavior change becomes a lot easier. Yes, they might need to learn new skills along the way of how to do those things, of how to show up in that identity. But oftentimes they start figuring that out very quickly. So if we start just with skill and behavior and leave out the identity part, we've got a huge miss happening here. So anyway, that's just some thoughts that I wanted to share about things that I think we could rethink, thoughts that we could rethink specifically to change management.